Hey everyone, welcome back to Mia's Finance Life. It's been a week since Trump announced the new tariff policy on April 2nd, and tomorrow marks the official start of its implementation. Over the past week, we've already seen the US stock market, and even global markets, take a serious hit. It's likely that once the policy goes into effect tomorrow, the negative impacts across various sectors will continue to grow and may last for quite some time. And what makes this even more critical is that the next few days will be key in determining if we see a robust rebound or if we're heading into a deep bear market that could trigger a serious economic recession. So today, let's talk about some key issues surrounding this new tariff policy, and more importantly, as everyday people, how we can prepare for the crisis ahead. Let's break down what happened and why it matters. The new tariffs aren't a minor adjustment. They're an aggressive move reminiscent of the protectionist policies we saw during the Great Depression. The idea behind these reciprocal tariffs is to force our trading partners to pay up for what many in the US see as unfair trade practices and huge trade imbalances. For example, before this announcement, Chinese exports to the US already faced a 20% tariff. With the new measures, an extra 34% was added, bringing the total to a staggering 54%. And it doesn't stop with China. Vietnam now faces an additional 46%, Thailand 36%, Indonesia 32%, India 26%, Japan 24%, South Korea 25%, and even countries in the European Union are hit with a new 20% levy. Keep in mind, these percentages aren't the final tariff rates collected at the border. They're extra charges on top of what was already in place, designed to escalate pressure on these nations. In response, China quickly retaliated with a 34% counter tariff on US goods, and many other countries are now either preparing similar measures or engaging in urgent negotiations to avoid further escalation. With these tariffs set to take effect, we're left with only a narrow window for talks that might de-escalate the situation. Meanwhile, major financial institutions are sounding the alarm. JP Morgan has raised the odds of a US and global recession to 60% by the end of the year, while Goldman Sachs now forecasts US GDP growth could slow to just 1.5% over the next 12 months. They're citing potential supply chain disruptions, plummeting business confidence, and the risk of further retaliatory measures as the main concerns. If you take a step back, you can see clear echoes of history in these moves. The aggressive tariff strategy we're witnessing today is strikingly similar to the infamous Smoot-Hawley Tariff Act of 1930. Back then, the US raised tariffs on over 3,200 imported items in an attempt to protect domestic industries. This move, however, led to a severe contraction in global trade. World trade shrank by roughly 33% in a matter of a few years, and played a significant role in deepening the Great Depression. During that time, US unemployment skyrocketed from 7.8% in 1930 to over 25% by 1933. Even though the US intended to protect its own economy, the unintended consequences were catastrophic. Today's tariffs, although designed with the intent to level the playing field and rebalance trade deficits, might just be setting the stage for a similar downturn. The logic seems to be that if other nations have been taking advantage of the US for too long, it's time to make them pay. But as history shows, these high tariffs can trigger a cascade of retaliatory measures that choke off international commerce and potentially drag the global economy into a recession. The true goal of Trump's trade war is to reshape the global trade system. By analyzing the report, Rebuilding the International Trade System, by Trump's economic advisor Stephen Moore, as well as the so-called Mar-a-Lago Agreement, it becomes clear that Trump's strategy centers on using tariffs and a weaker dollar to boost fiscal revenues and ease debt pressure. At the same time, he aims to shift the cost of tariffs onto other countries, weaken their manufacturing competitiveness, and thereby attract manufacturing back to the US. However, he severely underestimates the risks of inflation and the fragility of small and medium-sized enterprises' supply chains. As a result, many of these businesses may collapse under surging costs. China, as one of the world's most critical economies, is a key player that the Trump administration simply cannot bypass. In fact, any attempt to reshape the global trade system requires China's assistance, not confrontation. Through strategies like stabilizing its currency, maintaining supply chain advantages, and refusing to compromise, China has forced the Trump administration to confront the reality that it cannot unilaterally dictate the rules. It must engage in multilateral negotiations. At its core, Trump's trade strategy is a high-stakes gamble, an attempt to shift external pressure in order to rescue US dollar hegemony. But with deep internal structural problems in the US and China's strong countermeasures, this plan is likely to fail. And in the end, the bitter consequences of a potential economic recession will be borne by each and every one of us. So, what does all of this mean for us? It's natural to feel uneasy, even scared. But while the situation is serious, there are practical steps we can take to prepare ourselves and potentially even benefit from what might come next. Based on both historical lessons and modern financial wisdom, Here are 5 key measures you can consider if you're concerned that this tariff war could lead to a major economic downturn. First, cut unnecessary expenses. This is the time to tighten the purse strings. Take a hard look at your monthly expenses and figure out what you can live without. Whether it's dining out less frequently, canceling subscriptions you rarely use, or postponing that big ticket purchase, like a new car, new phone, new computer, new clothes, new bags, and watches, reducing these expenses now can free up crucial cash for the future. Think of it as setting up a financial buffer for the stormy weather that might be ahead. Second, build a robust emergency fund. Financial experts generally recommend having enough savings to cover at least 12 months of living expenses. This isn't just about saving money, it's about creating a safety net that can help you handle unexpected events, such as job loss or sudden drops in income, without having to liquidate your investments at a loss. An emergency fund in a low-risk, easily accessible account can provide you with the peace of mind you need during uncertain times. And the third one is, invest in yourself and start a side hustle. When the economy is on shaky ground, one of the best investments you can make is in your own skills and education. Whether that means taking online courses, attending workshops, or earning new certifications, improving your skill set can make you more competitive in the job market. In uncertain economic times, having a diverse range of skills can open up new opportunities and provide you with greater job security. For example, you can make good use of your free time by taking on multiple side hustles to increase your extra income, thereby reducing financial risks. The fourth, stick to a consistent long-term investment strategy. It might be tempting to pull out of the market when everything looks unstable, but history has shown that disciplined, long-term investing often yields the best results. Strategies like dollar cost averaging, investing a fixed amount of money at regular intervals regardless of market conditions, that can help smooth out the ups and downs. Even if the market takes a significant dip, continuing to invest regularly can allow you to buy shares at lower prices, positioning you for substantial gains when the market eventually rebounds. And the last one is, diversify your investment portfolio. Diversification is one of the fundamental principles of risk management in investing. Instead of putting all your money into one asset class or a single sector, spread your investments across different asset types such as stocks, bonds, and cash equivalents. Consider also diversifying geographically. Don't just invest in U.S. markets, look at international opportunities as well. This approach helps to protect your portfolio from being hit too hard if one particular sector or region experiences a downturn. These strategies are not magic bullets, but they are time-tested principles that have helped many navigate past economic crises. Even the legendary investor Warren Buffett has been quietly repositioning his portfolio. He's been accumulating over $300 billion in cash to be ready to snap up opportunities when prices fall. His strategy is all about being prepared and patient rather than trying to outsmart short-term market movements. To sum up, the events of April 2nd have set off a chain reaction that could reshape the economic landscape, much like the high tariff era of the 1930s. The aggressive tariff measures, intended to rebalance trade and protect domestic industries, have instead unleashed a wave of uncertainty and market volatility. With the next few days being critical for negotiations and potential adjustments, it's more important than ever to remain informed and prepared. This might be a once-in-a-lifetime investment opportunity. If you found this video helpful, please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more updates, and share your thoughts in the comments below. In future videos, we will dive deeper into some knowledge about tariffs. See you in the next video.